Let's go, fans! What if I told you the Denver Broncos are quietly setting the stage for one of the most unexpected turnarounds in the entire NFL? That while the national media writes us off and rival teams fall apart under pressure, Sean Payton is orchestrating something behind the scenes that could completely change the trajectory of this season? Stick with me, because what I'm about to reveal might just make you believe again. But before I dive into this avalanche of crucial updates, injuries, playoff positioning, and a league-shaking opportunity, make sure you hit that like button if you've ever stayed loyal through the tough years. And if you're the kind of fan who truly bleeds orange and blue, drop a comment that says, "Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue." Now let's get into why everything in the AFC just changed, and why Denver might be the team ready to take it all. Alright, let's talk about the complete meltdown that just happened in Los Angeles. The Chargers were supposed to have it all figured out, right? Justin Herbert, allegedly on the brink of making history with 10 straight road games without an interception, threw a pick almost immediately against the struggling Giants team led by a rookie quarterback in his first start. This wasn't just a loss, it was a disaster. Malik Neighbors, the Giants' only real offensive weapon, tears his ACL early, and yet the Chargers still fall apart, unable to score even 19 points. They had pressure in Herbert's face all game long, despite having all their stars healthy. This is the team people expected to challenge the Broncos and the Chiefs in the division? Please, this is exactly what separates the Broncos under Sean Payton. Say what you want about his record against playoff teams, but one thing he consistently does is win the games he's supposed to win. That's the mark of a coach who gets it. Meanwhile, teams like the Chargers are already collapsing just a few weeks into the season, and they're banged up badly. Joe Alt, their fill-in for an already injured tackle, just suffered a high ankle sprain and could be out for weeks, maybe even months depending on the MRI. Their offensive line is in shambles, and with their schedule not getting any easier, they are in trouble. And it's not just the Chargers. The Ravens, who were considered one of the biggest threats in the AFC, are suddenly looking mortal. Patrick Mahomes carved them up, and let's be honest, the Chiefs' offense hasn't been lights out this year. That says more about how far the Ravens' defense has regressed. On top of that, they've now got 7 starters on defense injured, and Lamar Jackson might miss 2 or 3 weeks. That's not just a bump in the road, that's a season-threatening pothole. Suddenly, that team we feared in January looks like just another AFC squad trying to hang on. If the Broncos handle business on Monday Night Football like we expect them to, they'll be just a game and a half behind the Chargers, with a home game against them still on the schedule. The rest of the AFC standings? You've got the Colts, Jaguars, and Steelers slightly ahead, but let's be real, none of them are unbeatable. The Steelers feel like fool's gold, the Colts are dealing with a messy quarterback situation, and the Jaguars? We'll have our shot at them soon enough. And let's not forget, those close road losses earlier in the season against undefeated teams came down to walk-off field goals. The Broncos were in control late, led in the fourth quarters, and still people wanted to jump ship? Come on. It's tough to win on the road in the NFL, and those games could have gone either way. Contrast that with the Chargers, who never even led in their loss to the Giants. That's a massive difference. Meanwhile, the Raiders are doing what the Raiders always do, fading when it matters. Geno Smith is proving he's not the answer, throwing 6 interceptions already and looking completely lost. Their starting left tackle is down, their schedule is brutal, and they're about to be playing for draft picks, not playoff spots. Drafting a luxury running back when your offensive line is falling apart? Classic Raiders misstep. That team is spiraling, and the Broncos are in position to take full advantage. And now let's talk about health, because this might be the most encouraging part of all. The Broncos' injury report is nearly spotless. Every single player who was limited earlier in the week is now a full participant. That means Evan Ingram is back, and he's going to be a huge asset in this offense. Marvin Mims popped up with a hip issue, but we saw this same pattern before the Titans game, and he was a full go there. We're optimistic that he'll suit up. On defense, huge break. Noah Fant is out. Broncos have struggled against tight ends this season, and his absence removes a key threat. Shamar Stewart, a major piece in the run defense for the Bengals, is also out. Their offense has averaged just 49 rushing yards per game, with a pathetic 0.3 yards per carry against the Vikings. The Broncos have every reason to dominate this matchup, because here's the thing, Sean Payton has done this before. He's not just a coach with a winning pedigree, he's a strategist who understands how to navigate the emotional highs and lows of an NFL season. When people start panicking, he stays calm. When other teams spiral due to injuries or sloppy play, Payton tightens things up. That's exactly what he's doing now. And it's why this Broncos team isn't just surviving, it's quietly positioning itself to thrive. Let's break down what Monday night means in the bigger picture. If the Broncos win, they'll not only gain momentum, but they'll also send a message to the rest of the AFC. This team is back. It's not just about beating a Bengals squad that's down a few key players. It's about asserting dominance, showing discipline, and walking off the field knowing the Broncos are in control of their destiny again. And after everything we've seen from the AFC this weekend, that's not just a possibility, it's an expectation. The injuries across the conference are staggering. The Ravens are limping. The Chargers are in a downward spiral. The Raiders are basically waving a white flag. And while the national media keeps sleeping on Denver, they're quietly getting healthier, playing more disciplined football, and preparing to surge. That's not just encouraging, it's the stuff postseason runs are made of. And look at the schedule ahead. The Broncos are in a stretch where they control almost every variable. They'll face the Jaguars soon, a team that's shown flashes but also plenty of weaknesses. They've got a rematch with the Chargers coming up, this time in Denver where the altitude becomes a real factor. And let's not forget, home field advantage is back in Denver. With this fan base, that energy, and this coaching staff, it's going to be a nightmare for visiting teams. This isn't about hoping for a miracle. It's about executing week by week. And the blueprint is simple. Stay healthy, win the games you're supposed to win, and take advantage of a crumbling AFC field. That's the formula Payton is drilling into this team. And with key players like Evan Ingram returning and a largely clean injury report, Denver is in better shape than nearly every other contender right now. Let's also talk about leadership. Players like Courtland Sutton, Justin Simmons, and Patrick Surtain too aren't just performing on the field, they're leading in the locker room. There's a noticeable shift in tone around this team. It's not reactive, it's proactive. That matters. The players are buying in, and that's something you can't fake. It's something you only get when the belief is real. Now, of course, nothing is guaranteed, but for the first time in weeks, maybe months, Broncos country can look at the road ahead and believe not just with blind faith, but with real, tangible reasons. This is a team that battled hard on the road against two undefeated teams and nearly came away with wins. Now, they get to hit reset at home in prime time against a Bengals squad missing firepower on both sides of the ball. If Denver handles business, they'll jump right back into the thick of the playoff conversation. The path is there, and if the Broncos walk that path with the same fire, health, and discipline they've shown in flashes this year, there's no reason we can't be talking about a playoff run by December. So now it's your turn, Broncos country. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think this is the start of the turnaround we've been waiting for? Is Sean Payton about to lead this team on a run that shocks the AFC? Let me know what you believe. And hey, if you've stuck around this long, that means you're a real one. So hit that subscribe button, smash that like if you haven't already. And check out the next video right here on the screen where we break down the Broncos' upcoming matchups and how they can keep climbing in the AFC standings. Go Broncos!